Hello, welcome to Meki Teki. Learn as engineer, teach as champion. First of all, I would like to thank my family for their continuous support and encouragement of creating these kinds of technical videos in public domain. And I would like to thank my mentor, Professor R. Surendran from Government College of Technology, Coimbatore, of igniting me a spark of creating these kinds of technical videos in public domain. And I would like to thank Almighty my God for my good health and broad mind. And I would like to thank my friends, followers, my dear students and subscribers for continuously watching my videos. And today's topic of interest is entropy. First of all, I would like to give some glimpse about entropy. Entropy defines the quality of heat content. Entropy means a quality of heat content. You can mention or you can remember that entropy is the quality of heat content. Okay. Okay, where we derive this entropy by means of a second law of thermodynamics, we get the entropy. The entropy means there is a disorderness or randomness in the heat content. We can say the entropy. If you want to know the entropy better, you can see this positional entropy. For the solids, the entropy is always defined as a capital S. Entropy is defined as a capital S. For the solids, the molecules are tightly packed and well defined. Therefore, the entropy of the solid is always lesser than the liquid and gas. We know that the liquids are generally don't have any shape, but it is incompressible in nature, where the molecules can change their shape according to their where the liquid is placed. So the entropy of the liquid is somewhat greater than the solid, but even lesser than the gas. We know that gas molecules doesn't have any shape. It can be compressible, it can be easily flow, it can easily bombarded. So the gases are having high degree of randomness. So the entropy of the gases is always greater than the liquid as well as the solid. This thing you have to understand. So the according to the molecule, how the molecule is placed, the entropy is getting changed. For the gases, the gas molecules are having a uh, random in structure or random in the nature. So it is having, generally gases are having a high degree of disorderness. So we can understand by this figure the energy and the entropy in the second law of thermodynamics. So here you can see the molecules are highly in random. So high randomness, high entropy, therefore high disorderness. Whereas for this is concerned, low randomness, low entropy, and low disorderness is there. You can see. Okay, so with this detailed information, I'll just go with my content, and the entropy is here. Entropy, the second law of thermodynamics leads to entropy. The good understanding of second law of thermodynamics lead us to understand what is entropy. It defines a quality of heat content, and it defines the degree of disorderness. And you have to know the entropy is the function of heat and temperature. The entropy is the function of heat and temperature. So the change in heat to the temperature is equal to change in entropy. This you have to understand. So with this equation only, we can understand the entropy, and this relationship is being postulated by Mr. Clasius. The Clasius theorem is here. The Clasius theorem deals with the cyclic integral of dq by t for a reversible cycle is always equal to 0. So the reversible cycle cyclic integral of dq by t is always equal to 0, that the system does not change. First, the reversible means the process can be reversible without an entropy loss, that is called a irreversible process. If I say irreversible, there is a chance of entropy presence, and the orderness, the degree of disorderness is there. So irreversible means a measure of disorderness, whereas reversible means the system does not change. So if there is an irreversibility, it is the cyclic integral of dq by t is less than 0, and it is not at all possible to get a cyclic integral of dq by t is greater than 0, which means the entropy of the universe is less and the entropy of the system is more. So it is not at all possible. You have to remember one thing: if any process is being done or is being carried out, the entropy of the universe is always greater. Entropy of universe is always increasing in nature, that you have to understand. Always the entropy of the universe is greater than our system, then only the process is possible. So these three statements are given as the Clasius inequality. The Clasius inequality states that the possible, reversible, and irreversibility of the system which the entropy is being carried out. Next, the entropy or entropy change is derived from the Clasius inequality relation, that is ds is greater than dq by t, and ds is equal to dq by t, it is for reversible, and ds is greater than or equal to 0, that is the universe is always greater than 0, that you have to understand. And some of the glimpse about the entropy at absolute temperature, that is 0 degree Kelvin or minus 273 degree Celsius, the entropy is equal to 0. And if the entropy of reversible is the point function and the exact differential. Entropy means it is a point function and the exact differential. It is an extensive property, that is depends on mass. Entropy is an extensive property, that is what? It depends on mass. The system is at equilibrium. Any convectible change in entropy is 0. If I say my system is in equilibrium, that is both thermally, mechanically, as well as chemically is in equilibrium, my change in entropy is equal to 0. So if there is not equilibrium case, the change in entropy is not equal to 0. The equilibrium position we cannot maintain, therefore we cannot make the change in entropy is 0. The reversible adiabatic process in an isentropic process, but reverse is not always true. So reversible adiabatic process, we say the reversible adiabatic process is an isentropic process, but reversing the process is not always true. So that you have to know. And I have given what are all the path functions, the and path functions of inexact differentials. Heat, work, energy are the path functions, but it is an inexact differentials. So that you have to understand. And next, the change in entropy of the system. The how the change in entropy is there due to due to heat transfer and internal irreversibility. That means the internal irreversibility is entropy generation. internal irreversibility. We cannot reversible this process internally. Therefore, the entropy generation is there. And entropy generation is always a positive value. The entropy generation is always a positive value. And since the entropy of the second stage to the first stage is equal to integral of 1 to 2 dq by t plus the S generation. S, that is entropy generation, is done by internal irreversibility, whereas this case is the heat transfer. So this heat transfer and entropy can be easily and can be known by means of a twin equation of entropy. This twin equation gives the flow and non-flow process and also the open and closed loop systems that we have to know. So I have given the twin equation of entropy. The twin equation of the entropy states that dq is equal to tds, that is, we know that tds is equal to q. So how it is done? We know that ds is equal to dq by t for an reversible system. Therefore, dq is equal to t into ds. So we know that dq is equal to du plus pdv. So this is a non-flow process and it can be reversible process of an open system that I have given here. And next, it is the for the flow process. We know that dq is equal to tds for the open and the irreversible process. That is, it is the dh minus v dp. So dH is the change in enthalpy and V dP denotes that the process is flow process, and these things are put together. It is for closed system that we have indicated here. So this is the non-flow reversible process of the open system, and this is the flow process irreversible of the closed system. Next, the change in entropy of the finite body. Change in entropy for the finite body is defined as the sum of mc ln of Tf by Ti, that is final temperature to the initial temperature. The process entropy. Entropy of the process is the mass into the specific heat capacity into ln of T final temperature to the T initial temperature. The phase change, for the phase change in entropy is equal to mL by T, where m is the mass of the system, L is the latent heat, and T is the saturated temperature. So L is the latent heat and T is the saturation temperature that we have mentioned here. As we know that at the absolute temperature or 0 degree Celsius, 0 degree Kelvin or minus 273 degrees Celsius, the change of the system, entropy of the system is 0, because the absolute 0 temperature there is no atomic, molecular or nuclear disorder. That is why at the absolute temperature the entropy, change in entropy or entropy is 0. And here we have a relationship between Cpcv and R to the entropy. Change in entropy for an ideal gas, we have a three relationship. First one with Cp and Cv, change in entropy del S is equal to Cp ln V2 by V1 plus Cv ln P2 by P1. That is the relationship with Cp and Cv, specific heat at constant pressure and specific heat at constant volume. And next relationship is with Cv and R, that is change in entropy delta S is equal to Cv ln T2 by T1 plus R into ln V2 by V1. We know that Cp minus Cv is equal to R and Cp by Cv is equal to gamma. This is air standard adiabatic index. Adiabatic index. And next is the Cp and R. Therefore, change in entropy is equal to Cp into ln T2 by T1 minus R into ln P2 by P1. The change in specific entropy of the system undergoes isothermal process by an ideal gas. We know that the isothermal process, there is no change in temperature. The change in temperature, we can say there is no change in temperature, or the change in temperature is equal to 0. Therefore, the adiabatic or isothermal process, the change in entropy is equal to Cp minus Cv into ln V2 by V1. We know that Cp minus Cv is equal to R ln V2 by V1 is for the isothermal process, the change in entropy of the isothermal process. Whereas for the isothermal process, the change in energy, is, we can put delta S is equal to minus R ln P2 by P1, or we know that R is equal to Cp minus Cv. Therefore, delta S is equal to minus R ln P2 by P1. Here I have put an TS diagram for constant volume and constant pressure line, how the ds, change in entropy and time, temperature is being given. That is, we know that the TS diagram, if the volume is constant, the line goes steeper, and if the pressure is constant, it is bit lower. If we put a slope here, these two curve, we get these two equations. The first equation, we are finding, we are interested to find a slope of the curve. The slope of constant volume line is the gravity into the slope of constant pressure line. This is the final equation which we can derive from the TS diagram. That is, in the slope of the constant volume line, dt by ds at constant volume is equal to T into specific heat at constant volume. And similarly, and dt by ds at constant pressure, that is the slope of the constant pressure, is equal to T into Cp. So with this, I am going to close today's session of entropy. If you have any doubt or if you have any queries, please let me know in the comment section. I will put another video of clarifying your doubts. If you like my video, please do like, share and subscribe the Meki Techie with Santhosh for the continual update. So I hope you have enjoyed the today's session. With this, I would like to close the session. Thank you all. Thank you from Santhosh.